Yeah,
Good afternoon to one and all present here. Welcome to day 6 of the ATAL Online Faculty Development Program on High Performance Computing Transforming Research through Advanced Technology. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome Harihara Subramanian, Technical Delivery Manager, Standard Chartered Global Business Services, Chennai. Mr. Harihara Subramanian is a luminary in the realm of information technology. With a career that has traversed multiple domains, technologies, and international landscapes, Mr. Harihara Subramanian stands as a paragon of leadership and innovation in the IT industry. In his capacity as a leader, Mr. Harihara Subramanian is celebrated for his eloquence, his ability to guide and inspire, and his proficiency in a spectrum of IT services, including global delivery, management, product development, and the latest in mobility, cloud, and analytics. Mr. Harihara Subramanian's academic journey, crowned with an MBA in financial management, has laid a robust foundation for his impressive career trajectory. At present, he is in an esteemed position as a technical delivery manager at Standard Chartered Global Delivery Solutions. Here, he is not just a mentor revered for his wisdom and accessibility, but also an innovator and strategic thinker driving meaningful and lasting change within the organization. We are indeed privileged to have Mr. Harihara Subramanian with us today. His insights and leadership lessons promise to be as enriching as they are enlightening. Today, he will address the topic interdisciplinary applications of HPC. I extend a very warm welcome to you, sir. I now hand over the session to you.
thank you so much, Maria ma'am, Mariam Nancy. So it's like honor. Um, Hi, very good afternoon to and all present here. So that was a good intro for me. Thank you so much. So what I understand, I'll try to provide my view on what is HPC and how practically we are indulging, putting it to work in our, in our regulatory or treasury management as well. So though I come from techno, I also handle the functional side as well. So I can see where we exactly leverage things on HPC. Okay. So I'll give a quick intro. The second slide will be on my personal, you know, the actually my family also have a business on which is on option trading and wealth management. My wife and my mom is handling, where we also use the full leverage of HPC. So I will have a quick walkthrough on that. And also then I will just talk about various applications where HPC is being used. So yeah, let's get into the presentation. I hope people can see my first intro screen, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Uh, so yeah, as we dwell into the fascinating world of high performance computing, it's essential to recognize its monumental impact across various fields. Like high performance computing or HPC, going ahead, we can name it like. So it's not just unlocking new possibilities in research, but also the innovations that were previously beyond our reach. Okay, so let's break down like why HPC is critical to modern research. So imagine the potential for scientific breakthroughs when researchers can simulate molecular interactions in drug discovery or model an intricate change in climatic systems. These capabilities are revolutionizing our understanding and approach to the multiple of disciplines, and it takes to a new multitude of understanding, the hidden beauties of our, of our world. So in the upcoming session that is going to happen that proceed slides, we will explore mostly on specific applications of HPC in various domains. We'll start with a quick introduction on examining its foundational principles and its dramatic influence it has on research methodologies. So the applications that I'm going to cover in a, I would be say that I'll be little far away from this, but still I wanted to put in. I did some research on secondary, of course, the secondary research I have invested in on life sciences, climate modeling, or social sciences, material sciences, etc., leveraging the HPC to drive for a new innovation. So by the end of this presentation, you will have a comprehensive overview of how high performance computing is not just a technological advancement, but it's a crucial ally in addressing some of the most pressing challenges of our time. Okay, let's move forward on the presentation. So yeah, this is the one which is, to be honest, very close to me. Ma'am also highlighted that I'm from financial background, right? So I did my engineering around 2010, and then with my experience of 15 years here, I also did my financial engineering and financial risk management from US degree. So I did a professional course on financial risk management as well. So with that a backup, so I thought I should help my, yes, going to working in a top five banks is one very good thing, but then we thought of bringing up into my personal business as well. So in terms of wealth management, our family is like working on it. Like my mom and my wife are directors uh, um, for we are a Zen IITN wealth management company. So we are doing a wealth management and option trading. Option trading is for ourselves and to a close netted friends, but wealth management is a primary business that we carry on. So in this also, we literally use the HPC. I'll tell you why and how. So the first thing is, as you know, to highlight on wealth management, it's about portfolio handling and juggling of the portfolios across various asset classes like uh, commodities such as gold, silver, etc. In terms of shares, it is like large cap, mid cap, value cap, and the contra or momentum trading, all those things. And then it comes to the debt funds where we have government securities or corporate bonds. So with all this mixed match makes the best of the optimization and also bring up the best out of the investment. So on an average, equity gives around 3.2 to 3.5 post the inflation, whereas a debt gives around hardly 0.7, approximately 7 times the inflation. So when comparatively says that the there are positives in every asset, but mix matching is a key. So for that, literally I use HPC where we take up around more than 20 years of the data across various assets, and then we create our own strategies by mix matching or in fact trying out with multiple probabilities. So that's what we use in wealth management. In terms of option trading, as people, is a very lucrative field, but honestly speaking, as a government stat says, across the world, only 2% of the people literally make profits. So the rest of the 98% end up making losses in over 1 or 2 years, which means that it's one of the most toughest cutthroat field to stand on. So I can proudly say that our family business is running more than 6 years. We completely take leverage on HPC, where we pick up a 1 minute candle to understand high lows and moves, and we try to put up a lot of signals such as Bollingers, percentage R, or ADR, or any multiple trading signals. We don't think anything. We just create some algo out of this multiple combinations, meaning like we pick up so assuming what is the amount of data we are looking on. One day we are around 6.5 hours, we pick on 1 minute data. Similarly, we pick it for last 6 years. So imagine that 6.5 hours into 250 days into 6 years of data, that is for one strike of option. Similarly, we'll have around 200 to 300 strike of option per day. Then just multiply and see the volumes. That much volumes is very well handled in HPC. To be honest, without that, we could have not even started this as a career. So HPC plays an important role in terms of understanding the dynamics and also the data mining. To be honest, if somebody says, if I have to enter the strategy, I'll simply ask for the backtesting of that. But that was not readily available. In 2017, we used to have AMI broker, where even to test some 30 sample sizes was very difficult. But now, with the within just a week of time, we can simply create more than 30,000 kind of possibilities and probabilities of for a single strategy. So literally we can create multiple possibilities and pick the top three, whichever works the best, and simply run the algo to it by connecting our broker end to the API to the server, and then running the entire show. So this is possible only through the HPCs. So this is my one thing which is close to my heart. So next one, I would go through the other places where we work on HPC applications. So yes, so here I'll just give a quick intro on multiple things, and then we will look into each one of it at a detailed level. Okay, so first we'll highlight on the significance and profound impacts on the research methodologies. We have ability to process vast amount of data at remarkable speeds. HPC has revolutionized how scientists tackle complex problems like modeling intricate systems to analyzing extensive data sets. This is what even I highlighted in my second slide as well. That's what actually this was very handy to us to to analyze the charts and data patterns within the wealth management and option trading. And this is where all the applications are taking advantage of. Can we imagine a COVID vaccine being at least even to brought to some level of shape within few months of we faced the challenges where the entire world was in halt. The vaccine was possible just because of HPC. Of course, as you know, there should be some lot of testing should be done for more than 3-4 years. That's a kind of process that we should have followed, but still, even before having it in hand to test it, it was not possible without the HPC. So yeah. So in terms of climate modeling, HPC allows scientists to create sophisticated simulations that predicts climate change and weather patterns with unprecedented accuracy. So this capacity is crucial for developing strategies to combat climate change and mitigate its effect on the planet. So on the social sciences, HPC plays a vital role in analyzing large data sets to uncover trends in social behavior. So if you see the Facebook or the Twitter or any other platforms, the main money that they make is because of their ads. And as you know, out of 100 clicks, the ad we make, hardly few paises goes to the Facebook or Twitter. Still, he makes a lot of money. Literally, the top 5 technologies, Apple, Facebook, Google, Twitter, etc., are making more than few countries of GDP. So if you compare the last 20 countries in the world, literally they are not even equal to these 5 giants. The technology plays such an important role in understanding the social sciences. So what they do, they simply try to understand from your cookies and other things to understand the patterns of what you really like and what you really interested in, and they brings up ad so that you click on it. So finally, we also touch upon the material sciences, where HPC facilitates the simulation of new materials and their properties. This is pivotal in various industries, including the aerospace or electronics, as it leads to the development of innovative materials that can, enhance performance and also sustainability. Sorry, if somebody is not talking, can they go on mute, please? Excuse me, if somebody is not giving any queries or something, can they go on mute, please?
தெரியல என்ன
ஒரே ஒரு டெஸ்ட் தான் நான் ஃபைனலா இன்னைக்கு லாஸ்ட் 6:30 தான் டெஸ்ட் எடுத்தோம்.
ஆமா. ஹலோ
Thanks. So yeah, so moving on to the next slide. It's on high performance computing on the human genome projects and protein structure predictions. So it has become a cornerstone in numerous scientific fields, significantly enhancing our capacities to process and analyze complex data. So today we are going to explore some key applications of HPC and profound impact it has. So particularly in the realms of biological sciences. So if we talk about the Human Genome Project, this groundbreaking initiative was a monumental effort to sequence the entire human genome, which consists of approximately 3 billion DNA bases. Imagine to have a space to hold on with the 3 billion DNA bases is not possible a decade back. But the scale of data generated from this project was immense. So now with 3 billion, they are going to with a lot of combination and permutation. And HPC plays a crucial role in managing and processing this with the vast data sets. By leveraging the computational power of HPC, scientists were able to accelerate the sequence process, making it possible to derive insights into genetic disorders or personalized medicine at an unprecedented pace. So next, it is on the protein structure prediction. Understanding the structure of the protein is essential because it directs correlates to the function within the biological systems. HPC facilitates this by allowing researchers to model complex protein structure through simulations. These models will help in understanding how proteins interact with one another and with other molecules, which plays a very, very key role in drug discoveries and the development of new therapeutic strategies as well. So as we transition in our next topic, we will delve into how HPC is transforming climate science. We'll explore its crucial role in modeling, in forecasting and demonstrating on how powerful computing systems are applied to solve on intricate equations and enhance our understanding of climatic dynamics. This leads to us to discuss specific applications like community earth system model and the weather research and forecast model, both of which it's completely rely on HPC to provide more accurate and timely predictions. Let's begin by discussing the role of HPC in climate modeling. Excuse me. Basically, high performance computing allows scientists to solve the equations that govern climate systems, leading to precise climate predictions. The capability is crucial as accurate predictions can literally help us to understand the potential future scenarios and make informed decisions. As we know, the EI, Nino, and other climatic changes that's happening across the world, it was there. The models were in place previously, but now the models itself being created through the analytics and AI technologies. The AI is nothing but the combination and permutation of the current models that currently already human being created by our like common sense. But the fascination is that even we would not have guessed the perfect combination of which model is giving the most accurate results. That cannot be humanly possible, assuming without this HPC. Like assuming that we have around like some top 30 to 40 models, if we keep on putting on permutation and combinations, there'll be one hybrid model which literally stand out and gives an extraordinary accurate results. So at least now we will with the HPC, we are leveraging to that extent that the accuracy of even from tsunami to volcanoes and the precise point at which uh, the cyclones moving on has been well predicted. I'll just tell you how well it can be, leveraged in terms of application. Even shipping from point A to B, for example, Russia to India, which has previously been done around with 83 days. Now it's been cut down to almost 32 days now. This was way possible is only due to the HPC modeling where
கம்ப்யூட்டர் செக்யூரிட்டி சேனல்ல அந்த இயர் போட்டு ஒரு ஹைஃபன் போட்டு வால்யூம் இந்த நம்பர் டு இந்த நம்பர்னு போட்டு ஒரு ஜனவரி மார்ச் வரைக்கும் போட்டு வச்சுருக்காங்க. இப்போ டிசம்பர்ல அக்செப்ட் ஆகுற பேப்பர் ஆன்லைன்ல வருதுன்னா எப்போ வந்து மார்ச்னு போட்டிருக்காங்களாமா, அதுவே வந்து உள்ள போய் பார்த்தோம்னா அந்த பேப்பர் ஃபுல்லாமே வந்து பப்ளிஷ் ஆன மாதிரி வியூ ஆகுது. ஆனா மார்க்கெட்ல வந்து மார்ச் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி 2025 இருக்குது. அதுதான் வந்து அதனுடைய இஷ்யூ அண்ட் வால்யூம். அது மார்ச் மாசத்துக்கு தனியா வருமா மேம்?
Ma'am, can you please go on mute, please? Probably we'll pick it up the questions if you have any later.
சரி.
Okay. Yeah. Good that I could mute. Fine. So yeah, this is on the role of HPC in climate modeling. Then we can go into the standout tools in this space is the community Earth system model, where this utilizes HPC to run high resolution climate situations, which enhances the resolution, means that we can capture finer details of climatic patterns, which is both vital for the local and regional climate assessments. On the weather research and forecasting, commonly known as WRF, it computes it has a high benefit from HPC, where it delivers timely and accurate weather forecast. With the ability to process massive data sets, it literally plays a very crucial role in playing severe weather events as well, allowing communities to respond effectively. With a given population explosion across the world, it is essential to save on both on the agricultural products as well as humans, right? So this weather research and forecast has improved drastically, where a statistic says that out of 100 such events predicted, 90s, previously the stats was around a few decades back, the accuracy was around 40 to 50, but now the forecasting level and accuracy has improved such that more than 90% of the forecasting goes right, or at least if they plan for orange flag thing and preparations is done well, way beyond our expectation. A humanly model was not good enough to get to this accuracy level. And finally, into the climatic science, the benefits of being HPC usage is beyond the modeling and forecasting. They also significantly improve the disaster preparedness and response strategies with a more reliable data and prediction. So this also equips governments and also organization with the information necessary to mitigate the impact of climate related disasters. So yes, I think we had a good glance on in climate sciences. So let's try to understand most on social sciences. So the first one that I would say is social network analysis. It simply means that this is a technique where it leverages data from platforms like Twitter, allows researchers to gain insights into social trends and public sentiments. So believe it or not, without no exaggeration, I can say even presidents, elections, results changes because of understanding or otherwise not understanding the socio network analysis. With a large chunk of data, people at top end, the politicians understands what to talk, what not to talk, which word gives more pressure and which gives more pain to the public. So it can literally transform the way they present to the people. And of course, on a lighter note, after the 5 years, the cases either way, whoever comes is different. But sticking to the HPC, yes, now it's so exciting that even the political parties are started using HPCs very well to connect with their social network. So it interacts and connections with these networks where it literally uncovers the patterns that inform everything from marketing strategy to the public policy decisions. For instance, during significant event, researchers can track the spread of information or even misinformation, providing a clearer picture of how social media influences the public opinion. So next one is on text analytics and NLP. Here, the HPC enables us to process and interpret the vast amount of textual data. Think everything from academic papers to social media posts. So this capability is not only aids in deriving cultural insights, but also helps in sentiment analysis, enabling researchers to understand the underlying emotions and attitudes within the larger data sets. So if you imagine the impact is this could be on the fields like sociology or anthropology, where understanding language and context is crucial. So I have my cousin working in this NLP project for IIT. So what I understand is that um, they give a lot of data sets, large data sets, where their clients typically would be some guy in east or west having a good product. At the same time, they want to improve the customer feedbacks. So whenever there's an email of complaint or something, they just pick it up, process this through text analysis and NLP, where each word is being read and the combinations, permutations being allowed to be taken care of. And finally, they try to understand the emotion of the sentiments. So in this case, people can ask like how the sentiments can impact on the overall customer feedback or something. But the idea here is if they can keep on having a loop, a positive loop through AI, they can well investigate that, okay, this many clients are unhappy because of this particular features in this product. If the question is asked from the management that if I have to change one thing, but it will benefit 80% of my clients, what is that one thing that I can do? That's typically a Pareto principle, right? Where Pareto principle is like, I will do a work for 20% of the change to give 80% of the results. So this typically to answer with HPC takes care with the ease. Hence, this text analysis, or in that case, even a voice analysis is helpful to understanding the social sciences related applications and its impact. So yes, then we can move on the material sciences. And the material sciences, I would say we would like to essentially recognize the transformation impact it has on simulations and innovations within this field. HPC is not just a tool, it's a game changer because it provides insights that were once beyond our reach. For example, starting with the material simulations, HPC enables us to predict how material behaves under various conditions. This capability is crucial because understanding material performance leads to enhanced product design and optimization. So as you know, there's once a Manhattan project happened. That was the first proudly presented project by US, but that project miserably failed in spite of having one of the top most brains of the world at that time. The simple reason is they just missed on a small, you know, I mean, that would be very simplistic to say, but still, yes, they did missed on some material uh, on material lead, which was literally covering a bottle's neck in many of the spares in their entire motors. So they just quickly come up with some rubber or some material, which they didn't realize that at some XYZ condition is a good chance to tear off and start to leak. They did tested on high temperatures, but they failed to test on high temperature and low temperature variations along with the varying the pressure, which literally lead to a small leakage. It's not a big leakage, but the small leakage, but eventually the entire project got failed. That was one of the top brainers miss. But having said that, if they had the HPC that point in time, even with just 1% of the brains there, they could have simply solved that issue. Because here HPC don't even care that whether we have what kind of inputs for that particular instrument. It simply goes with all lot of combination and permutation, and finally gives up the best of the materials. Once you have the top 10 materials, you can good enough to choose. You know what are the test cases it has gone through, and then you can be quite confident, and the accuracy and the stability for the material increases multi-folds. So yeah, so here the instances is simulates stress test on materials before physical protocol are created, thus saving time and resources while significantly improve the safety and effectiveness in application, ranging from construction to the aerospace. On next on the nanoscale simulations, for example, the model in HPCs are capable enough to, you know, to create nanoscale properties, which is very vital for the development of newer materials and cutting edge technologies. At the nanoscale, materials often exhibit unique behavior that is completely different from their bulk counterparts. Like HPC helps us to explore these properties in details, paving the way for innovations in fields like nanotechnology or electronics and renewable energy solutions. For example, advance in battery technology completely rely on understanding nanoscales interactions to create more effective energy storage system. If you remember, if you go behind like how the battery stores energies in series and parallel, there's like, right, once we have a missing point or a node which is malfunctioning at one trigger node, there is no way that we can stop this battery to get, the entire battery set to get wasted. Like that series node will start spread slowly, steadily. By less than a year or so, you can see that faulty short circuit would have been passed on to entire nodes of series and parallel connections. And obviously we have to throw it out. As you know, the e-waste that comes out of battery is even more dangerous than actual fossil fuels that we are currently consuming. Okay, the next one is a real groundbreaking application where it's very crucial for us to acknowledge the importance of HPC. All these topics, whatever I discussed, are actually groundbreaking applications. But having said that, we cannot just take things as a complete form of technology where we can start using it on the next scale. But we do have some practical challenges which also has to be handled. Like, so in our discussion, we will focus on the challenges like data management, the analysis, scalability, and the financial investment, of course, which is required to maintain and sustain with this HPC. Yeah. Before getting into these challenges, I also want to add my own personal experience. So initially, I did had the, okay, so I'll just come back here. Yeah, I did add up on a lot of theories, but first slide was my personal family business, right? So Before completing and moving on to the challenges overview, I wanted to give my professional backgrounds as well, as in case where how Standard Chartered or any banks, because I have worked on Bank of New York Mellon, HSBC, now currently in Standard Chartered, how we are leveraging the technology to compute things at ease. Just a minute, let me have a sip of water. There are literally a lot of applications within the banks, but let me highlight the most important one. The one is treasury and liquidity. As you know, treasury is a core for any banks. So how many people have heard of Lehman crisis? Like, yeah, this is just an open discussion. So anybody heard of Lehman crisis? 2008. Okay, there's a lot of silence. Okay, maybe I'll just go ahead explaining that as well. I thought of taking a bit of interaction. Anyways, anyone want to answer that? Fine, no issues. Like, I'll just simply take on through that. In Lehman crisis, what happened? The Lehman Brothers did had the enough asset and liability balanced. However, one fine day there was a huge market fall, and they have to pay back a huge amount of money, meaning that they have to do a lot of outflows when compared to a regular day. That time they couldn't liquidate the assets they had because most of the assets were long term, and because of that the bank went to insolvency and they got bankrupt. So this created an awareness across the central banks. They created something new called Basel norms, and they ensured to create a matrix which will help the banks to maintain proper liquidity within the banks. So the liquidity has to maintain, meaning that the bank for the next 30 days should stay solvent, irrespective of the pressure that banks gets, either because of the systemic risk or unsystematic risk. Systematic risk meaning sudden interest rate cut. So yesterday we know the Japan downgraded certain products which had an impact. Nifty would have fallen around 1% down. So those financial impact a bank should withstand. And if, as you know, there was a run on the bank where sudden news came that this bank is not going to sustain, then retail deposits suddenly started coming down. Good case of S Bank, etc. So these kind of liquidity risk has to be avoided. Hence, the central banks came up with a metrics called LCR. LCR means liquidity coverage ratio, where you have to ensure to cover up on the liquidity that is required for the next 30 days. Why 30 days? Because central bank thinks that even if there's a shock, if the bank can sustain for the first 30 days, then obviously understanding the situation and the gravity of the problem, a central bank or other banks can pitch in to help up to stay solvent. As you know, if one bank falls, okay, it's just not a one bank. The bank should have given loans to multiple clients, should have got multiple assets from various people. End of the day, it's people's money, right? So we cannot just take it for granted. So that will create a huge job loss, panic across the system, etc. Hence, it's very crucial for any central banks to keep the banks surviving. At the same time, they should create a pool of assets which is readily liquidated within 30 days to handle the outflow of the money. Okay, so yeah, this is a quick background on where I work on. I basically work on treasury in the essentially for the liquidity reporting to the central banks. So as a Standard Chartered Bank treasury guy. So we are supposed to report our liquidity status for across 86 countries, and we are also have to report it for the 86 country risk and also with the group countries. For example, for since this is headed towards London, we should provide um, a lot of reports to PRA and also to the European Union. And since our major client is on US, so we should supporting the US, and second biggest client is on Europe. We should provide all the local reports for Germany, Poland, to all the European nations separately, and also to the we call it the EBA, where that's a authority to check on our liquidity status um, at the treasury level. So we have to provide so many reports. So previously, in order to provide a single day LCR report, we used to take around 2 to 3 days, and any system. So basically, we need to collect the net outflows and net inflows, and also we have to find the HQLA. HQLA stands for high quality liquid assets. With these three variables, though it looks simple, it's not actually. With these three variables are the are the major criteria to create the LCR ratios. For this, we need to get into multiple TP systems. The TP systems is the source at which it gets collected. For example, if anybody of us goes to Adyar Bank and do some transactions, that is getting into some system called Hebas, and there's some other system which goes to Sabre, and some other goes to GPT. So there's a lot of systems across one country. We'll have at least 10 systems. Then imagine for 86 countries. We just need to collate overnight, run the batches, get the data. We need to understand the gaps, because once we get the data, we'll just first give it to our country team. They will evaluate whether at country level the data that we have provided is correct. If not, they will ask us for adjustments. Of course, that is as of now is manual, but understand the volume here. So getting data from 86 countries and providing the report at the end of the next day. So we start the data batching process at around morning 5-6, where it starts with Japan, and we complete the data by around 2-3, where it ends with US. So again, 5 o'clock, the batch starts literally. So, and here again, if there is some batch delay, then see the the level of complexity that we handled. So this was, I can tell you what changes exactly we made with the comparing 2014 versus 2024. 2014, we do provide report once in a month, but now the regulators are sure with this HPC, we can leverage things. Now we are reporting on a daily basis. Second, month-end reporting balance sheet items would easily take around 30 days, 30 working days, 20 to 30 working days. Now we are providing the same reports to regulators within less than 8 calendar days. The improvisation is absolutely impossible without the HPC. The batch run or the computation for each of the metrics is the adjustments and the flexibility to work on agile is all because of the HPC. So this is how we literally take a lot of leverage with the banks in our treasury. Of course, as I told you, now we'll move on to the challenges and overviews on what we are handling. With respect to the banks also, of course, it does applies to all other applications as well. So yeah. First to consider is immense data management and analysis. So as we generate and collect vast amount of data, traditional methodology will just simply fall short. For example, if you just want to have a DBMS system to, even to pull the data is humanly not possible. It literally runs for quite some time, and then it goes for an error. We need some advanced technology to not only manage this data, but also to analyze it efficiently. Because getting the large data is one, but why we get it? Because we need to analyze it, right? So it has to go in a very effective manner. So for that, um, the 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 space and the cost, also the technology itself is a is something very costly one affair. So for a bank, yes, it's affordable. For a common man to take the leverage of this is quite difficult. Um, yeah, so it has to be done on a large scale. So either it has to be, managed, um, like how IRCTC works. Like it's a train, but if it's just have to run for a single passenger, the cost efficiency won't work. The fun fact is the IRCTC claims that it is still in loss, but that's that's a part. But yeah, um, you have to have a larger scale to even to think of the data management and analysis for us. So this is because the valuable insights that derive through this data to drive research and innovations requires a bigger budget. So now we have other challenges, kind of scalability and performance. As demands, sorry for that, yeah, as demands increases, it's crucial that our HPC system can scale accordingly. This isn't just like adding more hardwares, because it involves developing better algorithms and optimizing performance to ensure that we can handle larger data sets and more complex computation without compromising speed or efficiency. For example, um, I would like to imagine a slave and a master, ideology in order to provide the most effective and speedy results. Like for example, if there is a challenge, if I wanted to understand what is a in my wealth management or something, what is the best EMA to be used to enter into the futures of Nifty 50. So first for that, if there's a question, then probably first it picks the Nifty 50. The master grabs, okay, this is a Nifty 50 is where we want to analyze. So it gives duty to some 4 slave systems where it first asks for 1 minute data for 2024 to one system, 23 to other. Similarly, like last 5 years, right? So 5 different system it gives up. So from them, it tries to get the Nifty 1 minute chart, and then it thinks of what is EMA calculations. So it gives another systems a role where it simply calculates the EMA, and then it gives the other system a role where it simply chronologically send out the data from the systems which has the 1 minute data to the calculation field. So in this process, the calculations can happen in multi-thread as well. So for different years, it considers a different patches and it start running. So if you think that, yes, there is a multiple pieces is running, but who has to have a control? The master will have a control over the slaves. It doesn't mean the master is always the one which thinks. So whichever gives the first signal becomes a master, and other becomes a slave, and effectively it runs through multiple roles. The role split is also very critical, right? That also need a lot of intelligence and logics to be handled. I cannot just say, okay, I just have to split. I cannot just split it in a very random process, giving 300 slaves 1 day data to get the data and then collaborate. That itself take out the efficiency out of the system. So anything that you do has to be logical. At the same time, the split and capture should also work. Yeah, that's about the scalability and performance. And second, the investment. I think I did touch upon this even before, but yeah, to add some more on it, establishing and maintaining an HPC infrastructure necessitates substantial financial resource and completely specialized expertise, because organization must be prepared for these investments as an initial cost can really be daunting. For example, I took an AMI broker in my family business, which itself for a very small business, I'm saying AMI broker or a 1 minute data which I downloaded. It itself already costed 2 lakh. I have no guarantee that with this multiple combinations or logics or codes that I'm going to impart is going to give me a hybrid results. But still, I did invested first 2-3 lakhs on the system. This was around 2015-16 where I initially started, having a hands on this. At that time, HPC was not there. I have to do a lot of things manually. It will take even months to get some 30 sample tested. But believe it or not, in 2024, just fast tracking now, I'm last month I completed a new methodology, like as SEBI has changed some few rules on daily expiries have gone, now monthly expiries have come up. Literally with 2 or 3 people, we were able to generate more than 27,000 of probable trials before arriving top 20 or put 40 trials, which we are literally going to use. So to get 40 trials in my live trade, uh, 40 strategies on my live trades, I literally ran around 27,000 plus trials with help of HPC. Of course, there's a cost. But since the business is already running and we had some profits, we were able to manage. If not, investment requirements is always challenged. Again, I do have certain restrictions here. For example, I don't diversify across multiple equity markets like Indian equity, Chinese, etc. I cannot trade on multiple bonds, international bonds, etc. I just stick to few, though I go across multiple assets, but I try to stick with Indian markets because my clients are mostly around Indians. So yes, if I have to think on such a system where I have to go global, then my investment requirement will go out of sky. Yeah, and finally, it's on benefit that of HPC sometimes outweighs the cost, can be a question mark. So despite these challenges, so it is important to highlight that benefit of HPC outweighs the cost. The capabilities provided by HPC can lead to groundbreaking discoveries in various fields, from healthcare to climate science. These breakthroughs are often the results of enhanced computational power and ability to tackle problems that were previously insurmountable. So as we transition to the next slides, we will explore some exciting opportunities that HPC presents, particularly how it fosters interdisciplinary collaboration, derive technological advancements, and enhance educational initiatives. So these aspects illustrates not just the challenges, but the significant potential for growth and innovations in the realm of high performance computation. So yeah, I think we have already talked about the technological advancement education initiatives. So I just give it up, not to your imagination, but I know the audience that I'm taking up. So I will just skip this slide because this would have been already reiterated multiple times. So the next thing would be the case studies. Again, for drug discoveries, it literally significantly accelerates the process of simulating molecular interactions. It runs sophisticated simulations to predict how different drugs will interact with target protein, ultimately leading to the faster identification of viable drug candidates. Like this is how we literally part, we make a groundbreaking things with the COVID vaccines. Of course, COVID vaccines has a lot of side effects and all those things practically, but imagine if we have to stall our entire communication and logistics for next 10 years. Imagine many business would have gone bust. Many industries would have gone to dust. So it's the question of whether to, to create a vaccine and live with the side effects, or to completely not to have an industry itself, which will lead to huge deflation across the world. So I would say it's just between whether to choose -10 or -100. The drug discovery has chosen the -10. Of course, we did have some negatives, but compare the other ones, it's even more. Um, it's a bigger devil to handle with. And second, on climate change projections, yes, there is enough iterations we did talked on it in the decision making process and accuracy that which has got improved. And yeah, what is the future? Future would be on quantum computing, where integration with HPCs along with the innovations of the current models, and or even there could be a question where artificial intelligence can pick uh, with trying to apply multiple different models across even the industries itself, which brings explosive, of course in a positive way, uh, unprecedented power. So of course, yes, increased accessibilities. As I told you, like assume that somebody want to leverage on HPC, they can have to buy a lot of infrastructure, analytics, etc. But assuming that one company is not able to, can invest on, but then there's a possibility that cloud-based HPC can be made available to access globally. Somebody would have experienced Microsoft kind of hanging around. That was on one Friday, like 2-3 months back. Uh, that was a very hard day for me because my option trades were hanging around and the entire server was not working. That was one of the risks that I would like to highlight because of cloud-based HPC, where once when my cloud storage got hung, my entire trades were literally hanging. Thanks that time market was not moving heavily. If not, I would have incurred a significant loss. But I just exited with no loss, no gain on that day. So cloud-based HPC is actually good. I'm just talked about the other side as well. The negative is if there is any significant technical hurdle in one side, it will just impact across globally. Of course, the positive is like once we get into that and we can huddle with multiple people, multiple companies, the cost comes down. Of course, the power of making new innovations increases multifolds. Okay. I think we did discuss most of the things. Is there any questions that I can take from you guys? So I'll leave the last 15 minutes for you guys for the questions.
Dear participants, any doubts or questions you have?
Okay, meanwhile, people think on their questions. I would take the opportunity to thank uh, ma'am and everyone here to give this opportunity where I was able to, come up with my ideas and from my industrial background or from my wealth management and tools on the technologies. It's very happy to meet up on a weekend. Very excited. I could see some around 54 people joined to, to get some background on what HPC is about and how we look upon things. Yeah.
Sir, what are some specific applications in material science, sir, using HPC?
So the material science, I'm not very close with, but I can tell you Uh, the nanotechnology, which has been, buzzy talk around 2008-9, is actually into the grounds, is in practical aspects where we use this HPC. For example, a material, as you see, one good example is the weight of the for example, now people talk about the safety of the car, etc. Right? The car has to crumple. Like when you hit a hit, it has to crumple. At the same time, the passengers inside should be safe, as it's been made up of a monologue material. So they should also take care of the weight of the car. They should not go up drastically, which will bring down the performance, but at the same time it has to bring the safety. So this combinations, multiple permutation combinations, we can't create uh, the collection of assuming there are some around 10 materials to combine with to check on the each level, percentage level, weightage level, to bring up the most sterile thing, most stable thing. This HPC take care of the multiple combinations in simulations at simulation level, not even to the reality. We don't need to create 1 lakh combinations of material and trying to hit and then test. Rather, in the simulations with the previous inputs from previous accidents or hitting styles, etc., the HPC is very efficient to create the a material with the proper weightage where it also crumples, at the same time reduces the weight and also gives a safety to the passengers. This is just highlighting one single example. So yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so maybe one more case which I can um, explain if there is no any questions. So I talked about the LCR, right? Liquidity coverage ratio, where we did have around multiple uh, timelines, and we were able to achieve the targets within, uh, well within the limits of the central bank committee. So the second thing, I would say, which we are currently working on, is creating our own models within the banks so that we have a robust financial stability in terms of liquidity. At the same time, we have to maintain an optimum level between keeping liquidity as a concern and also growing our business. For example, what does LCR number is safe? Anything more than 100 is safe on high quality liquid assets, meaning that we need to hold on enough high quality liquid assets. What is high quality liquid assets? It's basically the cash or the cash that is held with the central banks or with the high quality collateral repos and reverse repos. Okay, so this is one side. If I just keep on holding that repos, reverse repos or cash or something, then what is the point? How as a bank I will facilitate? I actually make money only by giving a lot of loans, credit cards, home loans, corporate loans, etc. So when I actually give loans to people, it means my money goes out. But it's quite contra that I should maintain certain amount of money to have a good LCR percentage. So if I keep holding a lot of money, it means that I'm not making profits to my clients, to my stakeholders. If I'm holding very less money, it means I'm not regularly, abiding with the central bank's rules, which means I may attract a lot of penalties from the central banks. And if the minimum numbers have not been maintained, then I will be simply subject to, the license could get cancelled. So I have to play a pivotal role in balancing the having high quality assets versus having, to engage my money, which has to work more for me by giving a lot of loans. So for this, we have created a model which uses the data analytics, the patterns, the formulas that has been, in fact, we didn't even create the formulas. The formulas has been created by the AI itself by inputting a lot of data across the days, across the TP systems, across the countries. So we know that on a December month, US withdrawal amount will increase by X percentage. So that point in time, we have to store more amount of central government bonds. So how do we know how much money to keep, how much not to keep? It's simply the data which speaks by itself. We have the last 8 years of data, the pattern that how the withdrawal happens and how much happens as it goes near the Christmas. Similarly, in India, we have the pattern for how Diwali or Pongal or festives been spent. So we know which particular POS the maximum sales goes up, whichever POS goes down. So we know where to give an offer to get more clients, where to cut down our offer so that anyway we know that clients are already going to grab that. So those three things are just not possible without the HPC. So this is called optimization. Because of this optimization, one, we are holding the money that is required by central banks, but definitely we are not holding more than what should has to be hold. As you know, like more I hold, it means less profit, less ROE for me. So if you see, when compared to Indian banks, essentially when I was doing my intern during my college days, the Indian banks usually will have around 13 to 14 percentage in the liquid assets just to showcase to the central banks. Because of the inefficiency, they are holding around 14% of the entire capital, which is not put into work to create profits. But the actual requirement is just to hold on 8%. They are very fearful that in case if they are going to cut down on anything from 13 to 12 or 11, any shock, they cannot simply manage it. So if you ask us how we maintain, we exactly maintain only 8.2%, which means we are just holding additional 0.2% of the cash that is requested by central banks, which means every other penny is going to work for us as in part of loans, etc., etc. Of course, it's a risk if even a 0.2, 0.3 stress comes in. How do we manage? So we do allocate the cash in such a way that just 0.1 comes down, then one particular asset will already be liquidated and put into the bank so that by the time we report, we already have the cash in our hand. We maintain to such a level that we do create something called intraday liquidity ratio, where IDL, we call it intraday liquidity, where we know that from 9:30 till 7:30, these are the outflows as going to happen. Assuming there's some system error where when outflows and inflows both are coming in and going out, right? We have to ensure that we have to just maintain the net outflow, right? So assuming that we are having around outflows of around 100 crores and inflows is going to be around 86 crores, then just 14 crores that has to be come in, which has to be managed by liquidating our assets or bringing in from somewhere else to deal with the intraday liquidity. But still what we do is we stress ourselves saying that out of 86 which has to come in, what if just 56 comes in? So how do we have the adjustments in place in case if that happens? So all those preparations are well in place. And even when it reaches this particular amount, immediately a signal goes and XYZ assets which is being held are simply liquidated to to supply or to ensure that outflows or payments are going out properly on a timely basis. So this has become almost possible only because of HPC, where we were previously we used to also hold around 10.5, 10.6% of a capital. You can ask like just 2%, how does it even matters? But when it comes to handling the 5,000 crore balance sheet, 2% is, can you imagine, that's too huge, right? So yeah, so that much impact we create because of HPCs. Of course, we are building our systems. We are supposed to build our systems across all the data sources to have a STP. STP means straight through process from any corner of the world to flow in into our RCO. RCO is a risk engine which will compute all these things. So from 86 countries, it has to flow through one RCO, and we can proudly say that is the servers and the entire running the show is happening only in India and Hong Kong and Singapore. Like only these three countries is maintaining the entire banks, um, you know, balances, assets, liquidities, inflows, outflows, all these things. The servers have been planted here, and we are working on. And to be honest, like this is the same case with HSBC as well, or with Barclays. So yes, even Amazon has been planting a lot of servers, hardwares in India because he knows Indian market is the next thing. The HBCs is being used by these guys to an extent that I mean, this is no exaggeration. I'm just saying this. I was just I just got out of my bed. Some vibes were, I was hearing to some songs, some very old songs somewhere. So I was just it was there loud outside my home. So just when I was just face washing, I was started humming to the song. When I just incidentally opened my YouTube, the first recommendation was that song. I was really surprised. The point is, yeah, my mobile did heard the sound well ahead of me humming it in the road, but it did not pick it up and provide me the recommendation. Only when it realizes that I am also humming, it realizes my voice. So as we say, when I okay Google and all ask those things, right? So it realizes. Okay, when I say okay Google, it suddenly started owning. I mean, it suddenly started wanting to ask me what do I want. Okay, so it just realizes even the humming comes from my voice, and then it provides a recommendation. So literally that um, is on a lighter note. You can take it either way. Anyway, any secrets that you're going to speak within your family, that time probably we should keep our mobile aside in coming days, because mobile is just listening to you every time. Somehow, somewhere, some app took our access, and we have to be doubly, triply careful on what we do. HPC is very good as a boon if we are masters of our mobile or our time. If we become slaves, addicted to Twitter and all, then the time will be completely taken up by the HPCs, tools, and etc. And we are the products for them. So there's a good, nice saying: why Google gives everything for free? Then what is the product that is expecting? When Google gives everything free for you, then you are the product. You are the product where they wanted to sell something to you, and they know you want something. They are very much ready to, give that material or recommend things or put that ads to you in every platform that you pitch in, to ensure that they goes through, you buy the best one in terms of for your quality or something, but for them it's a sales. So that's how they manage and do things. Like, we are ending the last minute of it, so if there are any questions, I can help you on.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your thoughtful session, and it is with great privilege and honor. Thanks for sparing your time, valuable time, despite your weekend, and thanks a lot for sharing your time. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Good afternoon, all. So this is I'm Anpichal here. I'm working as an associate professor in Ramanujam Computing Center, Nana University. So past 1 week, you are so much of tired regarding watching the different kind of lectures regarding high performance computing. So today the session is going to be discussing about how we are going to be discussing in your further research and collaboration of various industries and academic institutions. Next slide. Next slide, please. Yeah. So this is a today's topic. We can discussing why we want to collaborating in your high performance computing. So what are the vital role they involving in the various IT infrastructure, virtualization and data slicing and data mining. So these are the topics we are going to be involved. So the main objective is, so we are going to be working as a team. Our team members is going to working various MNC companies and academicians and research, everything we are collaborating as a teamwork. So this is the teamwork. So for further session, we are going to be addressing one of my scholar and different kind of companies consultant, Dr. Jagatha Antony. So today we are going to be addressing. So this is a 5 different categories. One is called as the resource sharing. Why we are going to be resource sharing means nowadays we are getting the resources is too costly. Once you can get the resources, the maintaining is here too much of costly than in your various IT infrastructures. Your servers, storages, firewalls, and the spam filters and filters. Then we are maintaining as a manpower. So these are the various activities is going to be involved in your resource sharing and maintenance. So because of the reason we are go for HPCs. Second one is called as a knowledge exchanging. So the knowledge exchanging means we are collaborating with various IT sectors or MNC sectors and your research institutions and academic institution. The academic point of view, we are only point out in your paper publications, your working, your demos. So only we are concentrated this side, H index, I index, and citation. These are only we are going to be concentrated to working on in your academic oriented point of view. But the industry point of view, we are very much directly, strongly connecting with the Navy users and in your real applications. So we want to only for solution, there no need about in your infrastructure or education qualification, your citation, there nobody is bothered about it. So here we are only changing about the different kind of domains. We are going to be interchanging between the knowledge as well as academic as well as in your industry point of view. The industry point of view, the most of people we are going to be working and coding and all those things, we are solving is a problem. They are very much weaker about the documentation and further researches. Second one is the third one is called as a faster problem solving means once the client is going to get the problem, they immediately they want a solution. Nobody is going to be waiting as a time. So immediately we can call the solution. So how the solution is going to be bringing from one person or one team or different geographical locations, the various places. So we are going to be for the faster solution, we can getting somewhere else, whether it is outsourcing or you are doing or whatever may be. So best we can bringing as a solution to the particular customer. So the most of industries is a customer oriented relations. So what they are asking, we want to provide it, whether it is possible or not. So third and fourth one is the innovation and research. The advancement, it is a strongly associated to the innovative projects and in your patents and copyrights. So these are the involved in your companies that is called as the IPRs. So IPR is nothing but in Indian point of view, where nobody can get the patent. We are only to able to get the copyrights only for the software point of view. So most of CMM level 3 and CMM level 4 companies, we are going to be involving in your patents or copyrights. So the copyrights means we can get this so much of innovation tools, the own tools, it is owned by the companies. So depends upon the tools they're bringing is so many industrial solutions. So finally, that is called as a funding and cost sharing. So how the particular funding, how the project estimation of cost. So this project estimation of cost is going to be designing by the LOCs and how long the time manpowers. So these are going to be involving how much of resources we are going to be getting. So nowadays in our education institution, so many decades we are maintaining as a own mail server. So the main server maintenance is just like as a white elephant. We having the storages and the firewalls and spam filter, antivirus, then your servers, everything we want to maintain. So each and every year, the recurring cost is going to be very, very huge. So based upon the things, so recently we are moving for the cloud solution for the mail server. So automatically we are avoiding as a in your particular cost estimation, the cost is going to be shared by the Microsoft and us. The education point of view, we having the A3 licenses. So automatically your OS cost is going to be involving as a cloud cost. So automatically we are going to reduce nearly 30 to 40 lakhs per annum in your particular mail solutions only. So these kind of in your funding and cost estimation, these sharing, they are going to be involved. Next slide. So based upon this agenda, we are going to be involving. So how we are going to be evaluating all those things? Our team member is one of our team. It is called as a Jagada and Aishwarya. We are going to be sharing the further presentations. This session is going to be handling to in your Jagada Anthony. Please.
Thank you, Professor. Hello, team. Good afternoon, everyone. As Professor said, how the collaborations needs to be taken place. So before moving to why collaboration in HPC matters. So for example, in our world, in the world, every day the volume of the data, everyone is playing with the data, and every day the volume is increasing day by day. So how to handle the data? So we are getting the data either in the batch or else we are getting in the streaming. For example, we are doing the online transaction processing, and as well as in some of the cases, for example, if it is a banking, we are doing the online and as well as in the batch processing. So how to handle the situations if volume is increasing? So currently we are using the CPU, and the central, CPU is not that much enough to handle the data because the volume is increasing every day. So terabyte and then petabytes of data will handling, it is taking large time, and then we could not complete the process. So that's why we are going for the HPC, and then this collaboration is required for the HPC. So the collaboration is why the collaboration in HPC matters is the first one is the resource sharing, and the next one is a knowledge exchange, and third one is a faster problem solving and innovation, and then a funding and cost sharing. So, for example, the resource sharing, right? When we are handling the large volume of the data, we have a lot of resources are there. Like a lot of resources are required. So, how to share the resources? Like for example, in the colleges, we have a students. So, students are doing the project. So, how to share the resources? So, that is come under the resource sharing. So, for example, CPU is not sufficient to execute my project to run my project. So in that case, we are going for the GPU, and if GPU is not sufficient, then we are going for the TPU. So it depends on the process. So resource sharing is, for example, if you are using the on-prem data center, or else if you are using the cloud. So for example, if you are using in the cloud, either in the AWS, Amazon, or Azure, or the HPC, so in or GCP. So in this case, what we are doing is in the Azure, we have resources like a VM. VM can be shared by multiple students or multiple faculties, and as well as the storage also we can able to share by the multiple faculties or students. So because if you are sharing the resources, then we can able to reduce the cost instead of going with the high cost, we can reduce the cost. So that is the resource sharing. And the knowledge exchanges, for example, most of the people they will not be aware of how to increase the performances, and then they might be students might be stuck how to improve it. So in this we can share our knowledge. So for example, if those who are familiar with any of the data analytics platform or any other platform or scientific researches people are doing, so they can able to share, and then we can collaborate with the HPC, high performance computing, and we can use their expertise, and then we can get a knowledge from them. And for next one is a faster problem solving. So faster problem solving is nothing but we need, suppose we are doing a project or if we are doing a research, so how to improve my performances, or how to increase the whatever the accuracies which we are getting, it improve the accuracies. So in this case we can go for a faster problem solving. So in this case what we can do is, for example, so we can go for some simulation kind of things, or else we can go for some ideas with the computational powers. So if you are improving the, if you are increasing the compute research advancement. So here whatever the next one is funding and then cost sharing. So whatever cost which we are using in the cloud for each and every resources, whatever resources which we are using, so for everything we need to bear the cost. For example, like if you are using a VM, and if you are using any other resources, so in this case any firewalls or any other thing, router, express route, or other thing which we are using. For example, if you are handling the data, you are using a Kafka or a Confluent Kafka or whatever it is. So for everything, DB, if you are using a DB like a NoSQL DB or a vector DB, everything we need to bear the cost if you are going for the cloud. But if in the case of on-prem, like if you are using in the data centers, right? So in this on-prem, then we have to bear the cost for the scaling. So scaling can be either in the vertical or in the horizontal scaling. So the it is nothing but depends on the sources, depends on the volume of the data. It will be increased either up or down, or it is in or out. So if you are going for the vertical scaling, what will happen is, once whenever the data gets updated, and if you are getting more volume of the data, so if you want to increase the resources, in this case we have to down the system and then we have to upgrade it. That is a vertical scaling. And but now we are we are using horizontal scaling, because automatically depends on the volume of the data, it is increasing the based on the volume of the data, it is increasing scale in and then out. So we have a lot of futures. Though we have a futures in CPU and then GPU, the performance is getting low. So that's why we are going for the HPC. So this is why collaboration in HPC matters for this. So scaling and the cost, whatever resources which we are using, so cost is involved, and this one does matters. So next slide, please. So this is a framework, a HPC framework. So like a framework is nothing but just we are designing the how it should be, how the structure should be. So this is a first one is a cross-functional teams. So for example, you are doing as a project as a group. So instead of doing the same work by the multiple person, and what we can do is we can split the work along to the team, and then we can use the resources efficiently. So because whenever we are using the resources, it will take a cost. So we have to bear this in our mind, and then like a team collaboration is required whenever we are doing the project. So this is a cross-functional teams. For example, if you are working in the geolocations, for example, I am from the I am India, and then from within India or the outside places, outside location, geolocations. So we should be united, and then if you are sharing the resources and which you are working, so then it would be we can able to use efficiently. Then next one is we need a safety, like a safety in the sense we are mostly playing with the data. So if anyone is stealing the data, or anyone is any intruders are taking this data, then that we should be responsible for this data. So most of our research people we used to take some real time data, or else sometimes we used to take some data which is available in some of the papers or some of the link. So security is very important, and then we have to make sure whether all the data has been used appropriate manner, and then efficiently in the appropriate places. So we have, whenever we are using the data, right, so we can see the performances, whether it is how it is how it is showing, how it is showing these efficiencies and all those stuffs. So we can differentiate in a different colors, and then we can see, suppose if volume of the data based on the 1 TB or a petabytes, or it is a KB of the data, how the performance is increased, what is the accuracy. We can capture this in a different colors, and based on that accuracies, based on the color coding, we can able to change it, or we can able to modify or update the models or whatever. If you are using any kind of models, we can change, we can update the models, and we can able to show the results. So incremental adaptations, for example, incremental adaptations is nothing but in some of the cases, we used to do some new things. For example, we are doing a transactions, right? So first time we are purchasing something. So after some days, after 6 months, some of the people are purchasing the data, so that is a transactional data. So one time, we are doing the one time conversions, and then whenever we are getting the data, whenever we are getting the data from the online, that would be considered as a incremental, and then we are doing as a incremental approach. So normally the incremental approach will have a low volume of the data, it will not get much volume of the data, so it is easy to perform the data. And then in this case, based on the volume of the data, either a HPC, whether a TPU is required, or a GPU is required, or CPU is enough. So depends on the volume of the data, we can able to finalize the processes, which one is required, which processes is required, and which is not required. So next slide, please. So collaboration types. So collaboration types. So here, we can collaborate with academic, and then industry, and private, public, intergovernance, industry to industry, HPC, community, and then cloud collaborations. So, for example, in European countries, what they are doing was, in the atomic research, they are playing with this data. So how the molecules are interacting with each others, and then how we are receiving this data. So this kind of things we can able to educate to our students, and as well as we in the research also we can able to play with the data. For example, we can take a banking data or travel data or any other data. So universities also we have a data, academic data, students information is there, which student is getting a high score, and then the attendance, all kind of things we can able to do it in the collaborations. So similar to this, we can able to academic can be integrate with this industry, any of the industries. So in industries also providing the HPCs. For example, if you are collaborating with IBM, the IBM itself have a high performance computing packages are there, processors are there, so they are providing it. And as well as similar to Azure, and as well as in the Amazon also. So whenever we have R&D in our colleges, we can able to collaborate with the companies, and then we can get knowledge from them, how to improve our performance and other steps. So public and private is, for example, we have a private cloud, and then we have a public cloud, and then we have a hybrid cloud, as we all know. So in this case, normally people used to, most of the people will go to the public cloud, and few customers will go to the private cloud. People, those who want to secure any government sectors, or they want to protect some defense informations. So in this case, they will go to the private, and then rest will go to the public. And some of the customers will go to private and as well as the public. They need both. So in this case, case, they will go for a hybrid. So all the personal informations, personal data would be there in the private, and rest would be they will be maintained in the public cloud. So, and as well as we can able to do the multiple locations, as we said earlier, we can go with the multiple geolocations, because like any disaster happens, suppose if in India any disaster happens, it is easy to recover the data from one server to the other server, one location to the other locations. So this also possible if you are using in the cloud, or else if it is in the on-prem, then we have to we have to do a data backup recoveries, backup things. We need to take a copy of from one server to the other server, and if we are maintaining it, and then we can able to retrieve back the data. So, and we have a lot of HPC research is going on. And as we all know, the Apache Hadoop, and this is a distributed system, because HPC is mainly involving in the parallel system. As we all know, like in IASC, we have a Param computer is there. So that is a parallel processing, and it is a supercomputer, one of the first supercomputer. And recently, one more is in the latest is in the Bombay, it is there. So Rudas is there. So it is a supercomputer. It is doing a parallel processing. And Apache Hadoop is mainly for the distributed system, and a lot of packages, and then lot of tools, softwares are there in the Apache Hadoop. For example, if you are going for the Apache Spark, when we are doing the computation, or if you are doing the transformation, it is taking if it is processing a huge volume of the data, then it is instead of everything, instead of transferring, the IO transfer will be reduced, and every time storing into memory, it is using a cache. And then whenever it is trigger action is a trigger, at that time it will fetch the data from the cache, and then it will process it. So it will computations will be in a faster manner, and as well as we can able to store the save the resources also. So in Apache Hadoop, that is also one of the open sources in the HPC community. And collaboration, cloud collaborations, we have a lot of HPC options, performance options is there. But we have to collaborate with either Amazon AWS, or Google, or in the Azure. If you are a tie-up with that, then we can use their resources. But whatever resources which we are using, based on the hours, or based on the whatever packages which we are taking it, based on that we have to pay for the amount for this. Okay. Next slide, please. So real world collaborative HPC projects. So as I said, we have data is growing every day, and one of the projects is for example, one of the project is human genome, and then driving modern genetic and personalized medicines. So any of the COVID, recently COVID has happened, and then they used to find a pattern, how why it is happening, and then how it is taking. So they want to find a medicine, find a drug for this particular COVID COVID structure. So they are simulating this structure modules, and then the drug modules, and then they are finding the vaccinations. So what they are doing is, as they are taking this data, and then they are finding the model, they are doing the model. Based on this model, they are predicting how why it is happening, and all those steps. So everything, suppose we need for this, right? So we need resources is required. So for that, we are going for the high performance computing, because they are taking the world populations data, the entire data they are taking. It is very huge volume of the data, and then they are processing it. So, and similar to this, the one more use case is like SKA radio telescope. So this is for every day, they are per day they are using 1 exabyte per day. So that is astronomical analysis. This is also, they are handling the huge volume of the data. And And the most of the in atomic center also they are using this huge volume of the data. So a lot of industries are using the huge volume of the data. So in this case the GPU is not sufficient to do the transformations, and then couldn't run the to execute the entire process, because we could not complete. If the resource is insufficient, then we could not complete the process. So that's why they are going this all the whatever lot of real world problems are there. So all the problems all the whatever day to day life which we are using, all the everything will come under this online, and then everything will be a digital. So based on this data they are using this HPC. Next slide please. So what are the key takeaways from collaborative HPC is shared cost. So it is mainly based on the whatever work, whatever resources which we are using it. So based on the infrastructure, the financial thing will be increased. For example, I'm using a virtual machines instead of installing system in my laptop or in the Linux. I'm using the virtual machines. So whatever number of virtual machines which I'm using, for example, if I'm using 5 machines, and then I'm using the OS, I'm installing all the OS, and then from there I'm connecting with the other thing like a database migrations which I am doing it from one DB to the other DB. So here what it will like a cost just matters for each VM. So for one VM, what is the number of hours which we are using it, and then like a DB, what is the volume of the data? So based on that, one DB migration to the other DB migrations will take a huge cost. So it is a cost. It is matters whatever resources which we are using it. And this is the next one is a cross-border collaboration. For example, we have a human genome project that is running in Europe. So they are making collaborations with 100 engineers. So that is beyond the locations, geolocations. So they are bringing a data from the different locations, and then they are putting it together, and then they are defining the model. They are bringing the model and deriving the model and execute. They are showing the results, and they are predicting the results and all those steps. So this is a cross-border collaborations, and interdisciplinary teams lead to breakthroughs. So that is we need to have a collaboration folders, holistic approach to a problem solving. So this is needs to be bring together. This is a teamwork again. It is a teamwork to be collaborative to reduce the resources and cost and improve the performances. Next slide, please. Okay, what are the key technologies? So key technologies involved in the cloud HPC. So like a cloud, if you are going for the Azure, we have a cycle cloud is there. That is for the high performance computing. So that will take care of all the based on the volume, it will automatically doing a horizontal scaling. So scale in and then out will be happen. So similar to this, we have Amazon also. We have a HPC, and GCP also we have a HPC, GCP, TPU. So these options are available in the GPU also. So the next one is VPN, and then remote desktop tools. So this is we are using a customer. Normally the customer will not customer systems. We could not directly access the server. So in this case, what will happen is we will connect it with a, VPN, remote access to the server, and then from this server we are taking a data, and this data will be distributed across the nodes. Okay, and collaboration software is suppose for a research scholar, we are developing the codes, and then every day we are making some improvements. So how to maintain the code, like multiple versions you might have. So how to maintain the code is we need a version control. So version control, previously we used SVN. So SVN is one of the best tool to maintain the version control. But nowadays we are using, as it is a open source GitLab, and so GitHub and GitLab recently we are using, because we can able to integrate this GitHub and GitLab with the Visual Studio Code. So we are developing the code Visual Studio Code, and this would be like collaborated with like a GitHub and GitLab. And as well as we can go with the workflow management tools also. We have lot of for management tools is there. For example, if you are doing a designing, we can like a modeling, data modeling, which we are doing it. Then in this case, Erwin model we can go with. So we have a tool, Erwin tool is there. So there we can do Erwin model, and workflow management also. Workflow management also we have a lot of tools. So Visio is for like a designing purpose. You can use a Visio, and we can show the flow diagrams. Okay, and we have a data sharing and then repositories. So repositories is nothing but like we are maintaining a code. We need a repositories because like a multiple researchers do coding. So if you want to refer with the previous one, or if you want to refer with the future one, so in this case, if you are all the things which we are putting into this repositories, it is easy to maintain the code, and then easy to retrieve this code. So, and the next one is super computing and the distributed computing. So super computing, like for like a parallel processing, we need a super computing. So multiple parallel processing which we are doing it. So one of the super computer is Param, which is like assembled in IASC. So like the work will be distributed across the like a framework. So that is a distributed computing framework. So that's why like Hadoop, Apache Hadoop comes, and then Cloudera distribution comes, Hortonworks comes, Mapr comes. So it is the work is instead of extending the machines, machines, we are like distributing the work parallelly. The processing is doing a parallel, and then like we are getting the responses in a faster manner. So these are all the key technologies we can able to use it. So cloud, if you're going for a cloud, from the default, they are providing the HPC. So we can choose any of the cloud, either go with the Azure Cycle Cloud or a TPU, or in the Amazon Elastic, we can go to increase our performance. Or if you are if you are playing with the high volume of the data for the research, so we can able to use any one of the cloud, and make sure like you are maintaining the all your codes in your private Git. Don't put it in the public. If it is in the public, then everyone will view a code. So make sure you are making everything in the private instead of doing in the public. Next slide, please. Okay, so enhancing collaboration in HPC. So that is a data governance and security. So data governance is nothing but like we have a lot of data governance tools are there. Data Waterline, Atlas, and then like Purview. Purview is there. So with the data governance is nothing but like we are collecting the data, but I want to view how the data patterns would be, how the data is. So how it is related with each other, I want to see. So you are downloading the data from the research paper, but you are blank how this data would be, how it is integrated with one data to the other data. So in this case, you want to find the collaboration of this data, and so in this case, you can go with the data governance. Any of the tools we can use it for the data governance, and so easily do the lineages, and then we can find the relationship between one data to the other data, and how the relationships has been occurred. So mainly this data governance is for the lineage purpose, and as well as the security needs to be enabled. So instead of giving access to the all the persons, so suppose we are like doing some work. So in this case, like if you want to share, then we have to give the access. That is the role based access control is there. So we have to give the like a security based on the roles. So what role we need to define to the particular people. Okay, so and interdisciplinary training is there, and use of collaboration platforms, regular check-ins, and clear role definitions. So we have to define whenever we are like doing a research, doing on the data. So we should not share the data as it is. So we should encrypt the data instead of sharing the data to everyone. Encrypt the data, and then if we are passing it, then it would be difficult to find the data. And as well as we can go for a lot of platforms are there. So either we can go for a cloud or on from any platforms, we can go for it to execute our results. Next slide, please. So next one is the challenges in collaborations in HPC. So what are the challenges which we are facing as data privacy and security? So security is not there because we are recently getting a lot of links. If we are clicking the links, then what will happen is we are losing the amount or something is happening. So data privacy is very important. So how to do a data privacy? So if you are if you are storing the data into the cloud, we have a lot of options. AD option is there, and then we can encrypt option is there. So RBAC option is there. So we can able to protect our data, and as well as we have the cloud itself. They are providing the security, so we can able to secure the data in a very in a safer manner. Resource allocation conflict is for example, we are using the same resources for the multiple projects. So if we are using the same resource group for the multiple projects, what will happen is sometimes if they are accessing some of the DBs or other things, so in this case conflict will be happen. So in this case we can go for an individual resource group for each and every projects, and we can able to make a success for this. So technical compatibility. So whenever we are using the technical packages, we have to be very careful. If you are, if you are using as a machine learning, or if you are using as a AI or a Gen AI, how if you are using as a Gen AI, how the prompt should be. Like either we are using a one shot or a multi shot. So how the prompt would be. So if you are using as a AI, whether we are using which algorithms which we are using it, and what kind of technical packages which we are going to implement. Either it is a Python or other thing. So if you are using as a Python, right, how to improve the performances, how to within a given a volume of the data, for a volume of the data, how to improve the performances. So everything is come under this technical stack. So if you are using, if you are handling this streaming data, right, so in this case you are going to search something, right, so we can go for a elastic search or Kibana for a dashboards. So lot of packages, technical stacks are there. So if you're using this particular combinations, we can able to improve the performances. So we used to tell us a ELK stack. So here what will happen is we can able to publish the dashboards in an efficient manner, in a efficient manner, and as well as it will take very less time. And whenever we are in our whenever resources, if you are using as a ML or a AI, so how we are going to choose this technical packages. So we have to be very careful on this. So mainly for the team coordinations and the time zones. So we have to be, definitely we have to be collaborate with suppose our team. If our team is in the multiple, if our team working in the multiple time zone, definitely we have to be collaborate with them. Next slide, please. Sir. Okay, best practices in the collaborations. So best practices is first one is we have to set the objective and the roles. So like a purpose of the collaborations is first we have to be focused on the outcome. What is the input? What is the in source input which we are giving? And then what is our expected results? So how to achieve the results? So that goal should be very clear. If you are not focusing on the expected goals, then it would be difficult to choose the technical packages, and then choose the computing system also, which is required, GPU, CPU. So what is required? So resources, which resources is required? So that is difficult for us. Okay, how to achieve the goals. And so next one is we have to collaborate with a team. So we have to define the platforms. what are the platforms which we are going to use it, either GitHub or a Globus is there, and a Slack for communications is there, and code sharing and data exchange is there. So different leverage platforms are there, and we have to choose the right tools. How to say, like we have to select the collaboration tools accordingly. Okay, as I said, whether we are using a batch or a streaming data, how we are going to use it. If you are going for a streaming data, how we are going to achieve it. For example, if you are extracting data from the IoT, how we are going to collect data from the sensors. What kind of tools which I am going to use it, either event hub or the, excuse me, can you please put on mute?
repeat பண்ண சொல்லிருக்கேன் அவ்வளவுதான் மருந்தெல்லாம் அவன் சாப்பிட சொல்லல
So this is a way we have to do it. Okay.
நம்ம டியூஸ்டே வெடிக்கார்த்தாலே கிளம்பிடலாம்.
So next one is future trends and collaborations for HPC. So like we have a AI and advancement is there. So we can enable AI and ML and development and speed up simulations. So recently, NVIDIA launches like high performance computing. So NVIDIA is giving the better performances than the Intel. So Intel is having AI PC. Okay. So AI PC, what we can do with the AI PC is individual job, like if you are taking one single job, the single job will execute it in a faster manner, but it will take very less time. But if you go with the NVIDIA, right, multiple parallel processing we can able to do it using this because it is one of the super computer introduced by this, and we have a Google DeepMind also, but NVIDIA is giving the better performances. And now they are integrating, NVIDIA is integrated with Azure and as well as in the GCP also. So, and next one is like we have to do with the global collaborations and data integrity and secures shared resources. So either we can go with the managed instances. If we are going with the managed instances also, we can able to reduce the cost and improve the performances. Then next one is like we can reduce the environmental impact and the energy sufficient systems. Next is next slide, please. Sir. So next slide, please. Okay, so collaboration opportunities and collaboration opportunities, we have a lot of opportunities are there. So here in this parallel file systems, right, like we have a multiple systems. Elaster is there, and GPFS is there, BGPS is there, and this is there, right? So this parallel file system, why it is required, why this file system is required is normally we used to work on the Windows and then Linux. So these are our default file system is there. So distributed systems is having its own file system, that is a HDFS, Hadoop distributed file system is there. So to store the data in a distributed manner. So parallel processing, while we are doing we are using a supercomputer, there we are using a parallel file system. So there we have a lot of things are there. So one is Elasto and the other one is GPFS. This is developed by IBM, and then the other one is developed by the PortQ and ChefIFS. So these are all having their own file systems, and it is giving the best performance, and it is giving the better performances for the parallel processing systems as it is using this supercomputers. And if you are working on the AI projects or the Gen AI projects, so in this case we can try with either IBM or Lustre that is integrated with Azure also. So you can use either Lustre or a GPFS. So they have their own architecture, each and everyone have their own architecture. So this is for the Lustre architecture. So we have a centralized cloud is there, and then each and every node is connected to the cloud, and then we have a processor is there. So multiple processor is there. MPP is there to maintain all the systems. So next slide, please. Sir. So as I said before, we have to choose the right tool. What are the tools you need to use it? So little bit confused like about HPC, how to choose the tools. So here like we have a Git VS Code, and then Intel Vuton is there for the development and debugging. So if you're developing the codes, right, so you can integrate with VS Code and like a Git, and as well as Intel is introduced to Vuton. And visualizations, we have a lot of tools are there for the visualization. So we can use any of the tools, this one. Okay, next slide, please. So, okay, as I said before, right, like we have to choose the right tools. So here we can go with the import packages. We are normally, what we will do, we will import pandas as PD, right? So if you're importing only the pandas package, what it is taking is, we can see the difference right here. So it is taking 340 seconds for if you are going with the pandas. But if you are going with the modern, right, it is taking only very few 3 seconds, right? Sorry, 31 seconds. So it is taking a huge difference. What we need to do is modin, MODIN. This is introduced by Intel, and so if you are using this one, right, then you can see the improvement. So you can here I have written some code. Like 1 second, I'll share my screen. Shall I share my screen, sir? So can you give me access, please? I'll share my screen.
share screen கேக்குறா ஏதோ share my screen ன்றா.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. You can share the screen.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay, can you able to see my screen? Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, yes.
So
yes.
see here, I installed this mod MODIN packages. So here we can see the differences. MODIN.pandas. And then I'm just triggering this job. So this is my data set. So this is not my huge volume of the data. It is like a very less volume of the data. So here we can see the time differences, right? So when we are executing this, see here 0.016500. So normally what we will do is, normally the people will not use these packages. Whenever we are importing this pandas package, just we will import pandas as PD, right? So this is a difference. So you can try it in your research also. So instead of using pandas packages as it is, if you are using MODIN.pandas, then it will give the like best performances, and that's why we are like seeing in the slides also, right? So this is why we are seeing in the slides. Okay, so this is a difference, time differences, and pandas versus MODIN. Okay, so these are all the benefits as due to running shortage of time. I just walk through this. Cluster cycle management, dynamic scaling, and hybrid and multi-cloud capabilities, as we discussed earlier. How to maintain the workloads. So either it is doing a vertical scaling or a dynamic scaling, and then how you are going to manage the workloads. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, I think I thought to show you one more one more coding. Just I'm checking it. Just give me a minute, please. See here, this is one of the data flow. So suppose if you are playing with the images or video or audio or like other thing text, so any other thing, right? So like you are using this some kind of workflows which we are using it. So here what will happen is we need like a performance, high performance. So how to use a high performance? For example, if you are using as a Google Colab, right? So when we are using a Google Colab, here we can see how we are going to connect the resources. So here we can see the resources. Here it will say like, are we going to use? Uh, See here we can say high performance computing, right? We are discussing about the HPC. As we discussed, right, either CPU or a GPU. So here we can able to see, are we going to run with a CPU hardware accelerator or a T4 GPU? This is a GPU, and otherwise we can go with a 100 GPU. So we can add extra devices, hardware devices, and if you are playing with a more volume, then here any of the options you can able to choose it. Otherwise, what will happen is it will hang, the job will not be completed. So this is one of the sample which I'm showing in the Google Colab. So similar to this, we can able to go with Azure also. So okay, so if you are using this Azure cloud, right, we have an option how to choose this high performance computing. So Ubuntu based HPC and AI is there. So this is one of the virtual machines. If you are using, if you are selecting this VM, so we can increase the performances. Okay. And similar to this, we have a cycle, Azure cycle graph is there. So there also we can able to use it. And while we are selecting the VM, right, we have a lot of VMs are there, either H series, HX series, N series, and then isolated series. So are we going to compute VM, high performance compute VMs, or optimized virtual machines, or how we are going to split the workloads, how we are going to choose it. So these are the lot of options are there. So these are all the VMs. We can able to use any of the VMs. So based on this, it will give the performances. Okay. So similar to this, we have AWS and as well as GCP and Amazon. So all three clouds we can able to use it. Similarly, we can able to use it for on-prem also. So thank you for your patience. Any questions, please? If you don't have any questions, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this opportunity. On behalf of Professor Anbuchilian and our team, so thank you for your time. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome to the final session of this very successful FDP. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our esteemed guest speaker, Dr. Pavitra S., an assistant professor, senior grade, Vellore Institute of Technology, Chennai campus, whose academic journey and professional achievements are nothing short of inspirational. Dr. Pavitra S. embarked on an academic voyage at Anna University, where she earned her bachelor's degree in computer science in 2006 and a master's in information technology in 2011. Her passion for deep learning propelled her to attain her PhD in 2020. With a research focus that spans across computer architecture, operating systems, robotic process automation, computer programming, and OOPS, Dr. Pavitra has made significant contributions to the field of computer science. Her expertise particularly shines in the area of image processing and deep learning, as evidenced by her impressive ORCID and Scopus IDs and a notable H index of 3 on Scopus. Her publication record is equally commendable, with a recent highlight being her contribution to Springer's early stage Parkinson's disease diagnosis and detection using K nearest neighbors algorithm in 2022. Dr. Pavitra's excellence in research has been acknowledged with multiple awards, including her Best Research Paper Award at the IET Chennai SEIS Con in 2013 and the Best Paper Awards for her work in women's safety and smart multipurpose wheelchair in 2022. Beyond her research, Dr. Pavitra is also an active collaborator, having worked with international academics like Amar H. Erskine from Tata University and Fadil A. Isa from Egypt. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to a scholar, an inventor, a collaborator, and an educator, Dr. Pavitra S. We are honored to have her with us today to share her insights and experiences. Welcome to you, ma'am. I now hand over the session to you. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am. You can start, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Can you hear us, ma'am? Yeah, over to you, ma'am. Ma'am, your voice is very feeble, actually.
Now it is audible.
Hello, ma'am.
It is Audible now?
Can you just be a bit louder?
Now it is audible,
No,
sir?
no, ma'am. Can you just be a bit louder? Increase the volume.
I've increased volume also. Now it is okay for you?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So thank you for your, for giving this opportunity to me for explaining about this, recent trends and features of high performance computing. I think ma'am has given a wonderful, introduction about myself. Actually, I know she has given more than whatever the introduction about myself. I don't think so. I don't want to give my introduction. And I can start. I can enter into this topic now. So as per this, FDP, Atal FDP, I think this is one of the interesting topic which is given by this particular college, as well as, previous, as per this guidelines which is given by this Atal FDP, already a few faculty, they have given, brief introduction about this high performance computing, as well as, what are the advantages and in other feature aspects also. As the topic which is given by me is features of high performance computing, and in what way this high performance computing will be applicable in other feature trends, as well as in different domains and aspects. So we'll start this, have given some outlines related to this high performance computing. So what are the things we are going to discuss about this particular topic, and have some introduction. Even whenever the topic we are starting, we have some introduction about this particular concept, as well as the architecture, key components, and what are the various trends and shaping the features of high performance computing, as well as different approaches, what are the approaches to be applied in parallelization. Parallelization, also we have, parallelization is one of the key concept to be applied in this high performance computing, as well as different paradigms and different applications and areas which is applied this HPC. And as per this outline, I'm starting my introduction about that. I think everyone knows about nowadays. We are having, commonly we are using this high performance computing in the different applications. Even though if we are applying this high performance computing for larger data sets, few people may not have that much idea. When we are running any large data set, we don't have that much. Few universities and colleges, we have this. High performance computing, as well as, if the faculty they are going to run a more number of data sets for training, as well as, testing part, this high performance computing will be very suitable for this. And when we are giving this introduction about this particular introduction, this HPC, earlier when we are discussing about this computers, normally we can, when we are looking on this high performance computing, we have this important computing called as supercomputer, as well as, the clusters to be different computers can be clustering to solve the different computational problems, as well as, different mathematical aspects. And when we are applying this parallel processing concept, normally when we are discussing about this HPC, we should go on to this, CPU. We have CPU, GPU also, and including this parallel processing, this HPC system will apply the parallel processing concept, and we have a multiple processor work simultaneously to perform any specific task which is assigned by us, or different scenarios. Whatever the scenarios we are trying to work on this HPC, we can apply this HPC with the help of this parallel processing concept to handle a multiple, to handle n number of data sets in a specific algorithm or any model, if you want to apply in this particular work. I think, Nick, while moving on to this introduction, we have few more things to be explained about what is the introduction, about the basic introduction, why we have to choose for this particular domain, even though we have a number of domains will be available in market, then why we have to specifically chosen this high performance computing, what is the aspect we are going to apply this particular HPC in your real-time scenario, in the sense. So we have, normally we have this computing technologies, why we have to choose in the sense, so a reliable way of executing, as well as, we have to get a faster way, as well as this performance, as well as simulation aspect, as per this modeling. If whatever the parameter you are choosing to find your work, you can apply this high performance computing to get a better results based on this, key concepts which is given in this. And as well as this specific application also we have forthcoming semester slides will discuss more about what are the applications and where we are applying this HPC in different aspects. And definition for this particular even we know much more about this, but even though when we are discussing about this HPC, what is the initial key idea which is behind this HPC, in the sense we have we have discussed already, already told you in this previous slide, we have to focus more on this particular parallel processing concepts to get a reliable and efficient output to whatever the data set you are applying in your work. As well as the supercomputing is a system that perform a near currently highest operational rate for computers. So each and every author, even if it is multiple authors, they are working on this high performance computing. So each and every author, they are giving some different aspects of definition to apply this high performance computing in your real time work. And the second second definition as per this Wikipedia we are having this is, so mainly we are focusing about the supercomputing to apply. You have to use a supercomputer to work on the advanced as well as this computational problems, whatever the computational problem or mathematical problem which is already available in our concept. And this is one of the important title which is behind in your HPC. So as per this key component, normally we have in a whatever the topic we have, we should follow some key components to work on this particular domain. So this key component, high processor computing, will have some set of key components, major key components which is available in your HPC is. So I have listed four key components under this HPC, so which is already available in your even whatever the textbook we have. This first key component is supercomputer as well as cluster, and the second key component which is parallel computing, and your third key component is high performance computing, and your fourth one is message passing interface. So as per this first key component, we are discussing the supercomputing as well as clusters. Then what is the idea about this, in the sense initially when you are discussing about this data sets, when you are applying these data sets in multiple applications, we have and maybe the number of whatever the mathematical calculation, maybe 12 cross 12, whatever the calculation part in your CNN. If you have this n cross n values, you can apply in your data set. But when you're applying more n number of data set, if you are increasing this n cross n values, initially if you are increasing this n cross n values, you need some high performance computing to execute whatever the data set it may be. So when first as per this key component, first key component, we have the supercomputer machines will have millions of billions of floating point operations will be there. So if we are applying this particular supercomputing as well as a cluster computing, you can handle n number of interconnected networks to work on a larger number of problem statements. So as per this problem statement, it may be any kind of problem statement, so you can apply the supercomputer as well as cluster computer to deal different high speed computer services, as well as when you are connecting any interconnected networks, you can apply this first key component. And the second component, second key component we are having is a parallel computing. So normally when we are discussing about this parallel computing, as we have different categories of computings also will be there. So one of the suitable key component for this high performance computing is we can apply this parallel computing concept. So as well as per the parallel computing concern, so whatever the problem we are having, even that problem will be divided into sectors, well as you can divide this problem into small chunks as well as smaller tasks that can be executed concurrently in, and we can apply this with the help of this multiprocessor concept. You can apply all the problems, larger problems will be divided into smaller tasks, and you can execute in a parallel way. So that's why this parallel computing will be perform in an active way, as well as this particular parallel computing will be helpful to helpful to execute whatever the larger number of data sets you are having to get a better result. And your third one is high performance component. Now, usually when we are looking onto this processor, when earlier stage we have started with CPU, such as a multi-core, multi-core CPUs. Even we have a number of cores are there, quad core, a lot of cores are available already. But when we are increasing the speed as well as larger data set in your applications, if you are applying this GPU, CPU, even high speed memories, this high speed memory also will be having the space, whatever the space you are applying, the speed, if you are using large data set in your maybe CPU or a GPU, your execution speed and normally this execution will carry out longer time period, as well as this time duration for your training, as well as this testing will take larger longest time period, maybe a day or a week also it can take. When we are applying this high performance component with help of this H100, so many high performance components and processes also will be available. You can apply this high performance components to enhance your results efficiently. And also this component particularly handle a large computational efficiency. That's why we are choosing this high performance component in your real time work, whatever the work it may be. And your fourth component, key component we are applying is message passing interface. So where this message passing, normally this particular keyword will be applied in, you can apply in any network concept, but the specific concept message passing interface, whatever the work you are having, this interfacing and communication is one of the important keyword to, communicate effectively in a better way with the help of this cluster nodes. And this message passing interface, it's allow whatever the data has been exchanged between. That's why this interface has been applied here. So this HPC will be communicate efficiently, as well as the data exchanging process and signalization process also will be happen in a effective way. So these four key component will be applicable for your high performance computing, as well as I think you can understand what is the key component which is present in your high performance computing now. You can get a clear picture of this key component of HPC. And if it is any topic we are having, we have a visualized representation of this structure, as well as this maybe hardware or a software. We'll be having the clear structure of that particular topic. So as per this HPC software stack, we have some set of tools. And also, these different tools will be applied in your high performance computing, as well as it starts from this OS. When we are starting from this OS, some tools will be adaptable from your OS, as well as you can apply this cloud computing and different virtualization concepts also you can apply along with this. But as per this concern, you have different tools to be applicable for this HPC programming and middleware application management. So when we are choosing this operating system, should be might be Linux or whatever the operating system it will be applicable for this. And this middleware application and management will purely focus on this this industry sectors. Network file system, local network file system will be have all the file systems will be applicable, as well as the provisioning will be having, it may be CDAC or IBM. So nowadays the industry people will be applying their own tools for developing a specific applications. But as per the existing market, they have given some CDAC development tools also will be there, IBM tools also will be there to apply this particular middleware applications. But when we are moving on to this performing monitoring, as well as different tools which is application libraries which is related to a high performance computing, we have this performance monitoring tools. We have normally this HPC and this IOR, PAP, NPP, NetPerf and all. So we have a development tools also to work on this HPC tools. But while discussing about these tools, normally when you are studying this any programming language, Python, it may be R, maybe a robotic process automation, UiPath and ROS or Gazebo, a lot of tools will be already available. But when we are applying these tools will be when you are new to this domain, it will be very difficult to understand this recent domain in your
Ma'am, Venkatraman here.
yes,
The
sir.
next slide, when you are moving it, we are not able to see, ma'am. Only the first slide we are able to see.
Okay, sir.
Just
now it is.
Yes, ma'am. Now we can
This
see.
HPC stack software, we are discussing about this HPC
Yes,
stack
yes.
software. I think, sorry for the inconvenience. I think due to some, sort of technical issue might be there. So now you can, it is visible for you. So as per this HPC programming tools, we have this performance monitoring tool. No, I told you that we have also development, different development tools also will be applicable for this. As per this previous slide, we have discussed about this clustering concept. So when we are clustering different, message processing, interfacing, and other key components, when you are applying this high performance programming, we have a different set of tools to be applicable for any sort of application. So you can apply whatever the tools you want to. It is suitable for your scenario. Why? Because it is a different. It depends upon the person whoever working on this particular HPC processor. So based on that, you can choose these tools and you can apply whatever the tool, as well as you can import all the different library files that is related to your HPC programming. And as per this, I think this architecture, I think you can understand this architecture. So when while I told you that we have different industry sector people, they are all already working on this high performance computing. And some few example we have that CDAC and IBM. I told you that. So this industries they are working on this particular high performance computing. And why we have to I told you that we have different computing performance we have. But even though computing performance, the single CPU system, nowadays we have this GPU as well as advanced version of this GPU, we have this high performance. And why we have to specifically go for this high performance computing, in the sense what are the limitations and what are the disadvantages, sort of disadvantages to overcome all those things. We are moving on to the single CPU system. So first we have to know what are the things which is limitation which is already available in this single CPU system. So as per this concern, first single CPU system. So when you're discussing about this single CPU system, normally when you are applying this CPU, if you are applying mm, so when you're applying these things, we have some processing techniques to apply all this ALU as well as this pipelining concept to apply. So but even though in your single CPU system will have some efficiency, but will have some technical limitations will be available in your single processing. To overcome all those issues, we are providing a parallel computing concept, that and why you have to go for this, and also we have to know why specifically have to move from your single processing to your parallel processing, as well as you can call it as a parallel computing concept. So when we are discussing about this parallel processing, normally I think this when you are discussing about this processor, we have processor different processors are available. But why we have to choose this parallel computing for your high performance computing? So this as per this single CPU system, so performance can be improved through but increasing ALU width, increasing clock frequency, making use of all the pipelining concept, whatever the stages you are having in your pipelining, and improved compilation process also. But still there is a limitation. So limitation in the sense we can apply only a single task at a time. So this is a single CPU system. So multiple processor cannot be applied in this particular concept. That's why we are moving to a parallel computing concept. So while moving on to this parallel computing, so your parallel computing will have, to overcome all those issues, whatever the limitations have shown in the previous slide, that limitation will be, overcome with help of this parallel computing to work in an efficient way in your HPC. And why use your the specific parallel computing? In the sense I told you that sequential system, when you're applying this sequential systems are slow, calculation may takes weeks or years for CPU can get job done faster. That's why these are all the limitations will be available in a single CPU system. So sequential system. So when you're doing this, work in a sequential way, so whatever the work it may be, when you are doing sequentially, it will take long time period, and it takes whatever the parameter you are calculating, this performance as well as the whatever the calculation you are having, that will take more than a week also for computing all the parameters which is applicable for any scenarios. And after this, most CPUs can get job done faster, but we have only if it is applying a single CPU concept, you are not supposed to complete in a faster way. And as well as sequential system will have a smaller memory space as well as the data set which is just not fit into the memory when you're applying a more larger data set. And we have to give more memory access also. Additional memory slots will be added to be, along with this parallel computing. To overcome all this, we have to go with this parallel computing. So when we are discussing about this parallel computing, we have a best a taxonomy called, normally I think a few people, everyone knows this Flynn's classical taxonomy. So that is one of the reason, available taxonomy for, suitable parallel computing is, normally we can call it as Flynn's taxonomy. So this is one of the Flynn's classical taxonomy. I think this is one of the existing taxonomy which is available. And while discussing about this Flynn's classical taxonomies, we have different 4 categories of taxonomies will be available in this system. So as per this key concept, which is instruction stream, we have 2 key instruction stream as well as data stream. So to overcome whatever the disadvantages in a single CPU, and we are moving into this Flynn's classical taxonomy to avoid the limitations which is present in your single CPU. And as per this dimension, whatever the dimension it may be, so instruction stream and data streams will be applied for the, you can apply this particular stream in any multiple, parallel computing concept. But even though we have different categories will be applied in this particular classification, when we are moving on to this classification category, normally this Flynn's classification will be having a 4 classification technique. One is this is SASD, SAMD, MISD, and MIMD. So as per this concern for the first thing, SASD is a single instruction, single data stream. And I told you in the previous slide, we have some, streams, data streams, and data streams as well as instruction stream. When you're applying any instruction, when you're giving a data set, that is data set, if you are applying any tools related to this parallel high performance computing, that all the instructions should be, whatever the data it may be given will be related to the instruction format. So when we are applying this instruction as well as the data in your SISD, single instruction, single data stream, so that will be suitable only for, shorter data, as well as we can have a better accuracy, but we are not supposed to, apply a multiple instruction at a time. So only one instruction can be applied in this SISD, and also we can get a better results, but only one single instruction can be executed at a time. So while moving on to the SIMD, so I'll give a brief introduction about what is SISD and where we can apply this SID, which application will be suitable for this SISD. So single instruction, single data stream. This is our, taxonomy. One of the taxonomy we are applying in this parallel computing concept. As per this concern, single instruction, this is being acted only by the CPU, but only one clock cycle. When you are executing any instruction, it takes only one clock cycle per instruction. Then, if it is we are applying multiple instruction, that will not be suitable for this particular single instruction and single data stream. So as per this parallel computing, I think when we are choosing this parallel, even though this SISD is a kind of a taxonomy related to your Flynn's classification, but it is not, suitable for this parallel processing concept. But you can apply this particular concept for, single instruction execution to get a better results of that. And now as per this picturization, you'll be having this SISD, but data pool also will be available, processing unit will be available, instructions also will be available. So initially when you are fetching any information or fetching any instruction to your processor, you'll be having a program counter. With that program counter, you can load whatever the data you want, and whatever the instruction might be in the form of instruction. So your parallel programming concept, related to your high performance computing, if you are applying any tools, you have to upload all the libraries as well as have to fetch this data in the form of instructions. After fetching all the data, it may be in the form of instruction. If you want to process all those instruction, this single instruction will be applicable only for a single performance, and it may be any kind of operation. If you are applying this, we can go with only one single instruction execution at a time. So that is a sort of limitations will be there in a single instruction. So sort of, multiple instruction cannot be executed in this particular concept. So, but this is very efficient and faster way. You can apply this in this particular concept also will be applicable, applicable to apply any sort of application, but only one instruction can be executed at a time. So to overcome all those limitations in the single instruction, so each and every concept will have some merits and demerits. As per the single instruction, I told you that it's an efficient, it can execute an instruction in an efficient way, but this sort of a multiple instruction will not be applicable for this particular taxonomy. That's why we are moving to the second instruction, that single instruction, multiple data stream. So this is one of the important, one of the interesting taxonomy will be applicable for your high performance computing. So when we have discussed about this in high performance computing, so as per this single instruction multiple data stream, our objective mainly when we are focusing about this high performance computing, our objective is to focus only about this multiple data set execution. So as per this single instruction, we have some clock cycle instruction execution at a time, but multiple data processing can be carried out, as well as this specialized problems. It may be any a logical or any complex problems or image processing or any audios or videos or graphics related problem. You can apply with this particular SIMD taxonomy, and you'll get a better results. And along with this, we have some examples related to this particular taxonomy. And as per this example, we have some processor array, thinking machines. Normally, we can call it as Cray, X, Cray, Y, and so many versions also will be available in our market. This industry, they have launched so many versions to work on this particular single instruction multiple data stream. So based on your whatever the work you are having, you can choose the processor array which is suitable for your work. Then obviously based on this work, you can choose this IBM, whoever they are developing, they are giving their own name to explore their tools in that specific domain, so that this machine will be applicable for this SIMD will be applicable for high performance computing for modern computer, as well as with the graphics unit. Why? Because when we are looking onto the single instruction execution, we don't want any specific GPU for the execution part. But when we are discussing about this multiple instruction, multiple data stream, we need specific GPU to deploy any instructions, multiple instruction in your execution unit. So if you are applying this SIMD, which is related to high performance computing, you can apply this. You can apply this single instruction multiple data stream to work in a better way for this the different, it may be any kind of application. I'll give some examples after this. Forthcoming slides, we have some of the examples and applications which is working on the single instruction multiple data stream related to your high performance computing. And while moving on to this next slide, you can understand easily now. So previous when we are discussing about this SIMD, SIMD or SISD will have only one instruction, even only one processing unit will be there. So we have a pool of instruction. Pool of instruction is a different n number of data sets will be available. When you are uploading all the instruction in your processing unit, when your SISD will be having only one processing unit. And while coming to this SIMD, we have processing unit will be categorized into different tasks. You can you can split your work as per this instruction. If it is a larger data set you are having, that data set will be categorized and divided into subtasks, and this subtask will be uploaded in your processing unit. So we have set of processing multiple processing unit will be available in this instruction pool, and you can divide this task, and you can upload a subtask in your processing unit, and automatically it will process the data and get the whatever the output you want to execute on this particular concept. And as per this previous instruction, whatever the instruction, load store instruction, here we have this operation, load store operations also will be there. Parallelly this P1, P2 or the parallel instruction we are applying in this single instruction multiple data stream. So when we are applying this parallel processing, P1, P2 is the n number of parallel processing will be added into your machine the GPU, and you can execute the results in a better way, as well as this time consuming also. So one of the major aspect when you are moving on to this data execution. So this particular taxonomy will be very suitable for your high performance computing. And the next one is, I told you that we have 4 taxonomy. This is also a kind of taxonomy will be applicable in your Flint's classification. So this multiple instruction single data stream. Normally this instruction and data will be called it as streams. So this multiple instruction we have discussed earlier. So this multiple instruction, so each and every processing will operate on a data independently with separate instruction streams. So whatever the data if you are giving in your instructional pool, so you'll be having a different processing unit. So previous, when you are seeing your previous slide, you'll be having, parallelly you'll be having this processing unit. But here you'll be having a processing unit in a multiple way, but we have only single data stream. So whatever the parallel processing, if you are applying, well, only one way you can apply the single data stream execution. So once you are fetching all the information in your instruction pool, you can divide the task. But when you are executing this data in a processing, whatever the once this processing has been completed, we can move to the next parallel processing. Then only you can get the exact result, whatever the result you want to get it from this parallel processing. So that's why this, even this also will be working efficiently. But when we are comparing all this 4 Flint's taxonomies, single instruction and multiple data streams will be suitable. Is one of the suitable application and more suitable processor for your high performance computing. So we can move with your multiple single instruction as well as multiple data streams can apply for any scenarios that will be suitable for this HPC concept. And I think you have any doubt in this? Venkatraman sir? Venkatraman sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Is there any queries are there up to this? So shall I move to the next slide?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. No
Yes.
doubts, ma'am.
Okay, okay, sir. I'll move to the next slide. So
Okay.
thank you for the confirmation. And now we are moving to the current as per the title which is given by me, and the trends shaping the features of high performance computing. So as per the title which is given by me is features of high performance computing. Even though even we are not supposed to start from the features, what are the features and recent technologies which is available in your high performance computing, we should discuss the basic objectives as well as what are the basic introduction which is already available related to this. That's why we have given this introduction about what are the high performance computing and the outline of your taxonomies will be suitable for your high performance computing, and the things which is already tools and libraries will be applicable in your high performance computing. This is our main core key concept that is related to our title. So as per this title concerns, we have this, trends shaping the features of high performance computing. So trends, what are the trends? Even we have a lot of domain specific areas nowadays, we are having in our day-to-day work. So, but even though, but we have some, five, I have listed out 5 high performance computing will be applicable in features that even that too, there is booming research work will be going on. And as per this first title, which is related to this features of high performance computing, as everyone knows that, artificial intelligence is one of the core domain nowadays we are using in our research, as well as even we have a specific core courses also we have in this artificial intelligence. So here in our feature trends will focus more on this artificial intelligence. So we are applying this artificial intelligence to improve your HPC, HPC in an efficient way. And as per the second trends which is applicable in our HPC is edge computing. And edge computing, why we have to go for this edge computing, and what is the advantages behind this edge computing, and where we can apply this edge computing. It's an added value to be applicable for your HPC. And third one is HPC will become even more accessible as a service. But even whatever the services we are a processor, we are having, all the processor, whatever the processor, maybe if we are increasing 64 GB or 800, a lot of high performance computing also available. But the cost of this high performance computing is very high, but it is not, affordable for everyone to apply our application. In such cases, we can go with this cloud. So you can apply this cloud with the help of HPC. For this cloud, you can whatever the data sets you have, you can use this cloud concept with the help of HPC. HPC, normally this accessible part and services will be provided by this cloud provider, and you can apply this cloud services also along with this HPC, so you can get a better improvement in that. And fourth one is GPU computing will be on the rise. So as per everyone knows that the CPU will be having this. Even nowadays, CPU we are not using much more on this CPU concept. So we are applying this GPU computing, facilities on all laptops. Even those who are having the high-end versions, this is i5, i7, or i9 also will be there. But even we are applying this GPU computing facility to increase the efficiency, as well as in the different aspects. We can apply this GPU computing in your high performance computing. And fifth one is modern data storage will be critical investment. But that's why when we are discussing about this, normally when we are discussing about this processes mainly concern about this memory. So this memory is one of the important concern. Why? Because whatever the information we are having, even whatever 8 GB or 16 GB or 64 GB, when you are training any, small set of data set itself, it will take some time, longer duration, and storage problem also will be there. When if you are running this machine itself, if even it will take a day. So to complete that particular process, this data storage also is one of the critical problem. But to avoid all those things, we can apply this high performance computing. But the only limitation which is available this high performance is the cost is very cost wise, this high performance computing is very high. That is the only problem we are having. Why? Because everyone should not be affordable with buying this high performance computing, installing it. We don't have that kind of feasibility to apply this. So based on this requirement, we can go with this funded things, or anything else. We can go with this high performance computing. But we can apply. That's why I told you that we have cloud facilities also, feasibility to store data. We can lend this cloud, and we can apply this high performance computing. So these are the five important trends and shapings the features of high performance computing. So when we are discussing much about this first concept, artificial intelligence. So in what way we are using this artificial intelligence in our high performance computing to improve this HPC? So, no, that particular, artificial intelligence, even this past 20 years, we have this origin where we have started this computing and processor, the increasing demand or need of this processor, keep on, it is increasing. Why? Because it starts from CPU, even though CPU will not be, suitable for all the applications. When we are moving to the GPU, even GPU will not be having, that much of storage space. When we are moving to the HPC, keep on, we are moving to the next levels. The origin we have started, now we are in even high performance computing. Even after this, we'll be getting new products and new tools will be suitable for this, performance computing. But but as per this recent trend, we have a specific application that is suitable for this features of high performance computing will be an artificial intelligence. Whoever working on this artificial intelligence over the last, even it may be lot, we have more than this artificial intelligence, we are applying this even cognitive robotics also will be there, even this robotic process automation also will be there. So many concepts are there, but when we are each and every particular concept will be having a separate tool to work on it. And also we are embedding, incorporating this IoT as well as 5G, 6G techniques also, to along with this AI to get a better results, whatever the results and application we are applying in this particular concept. So as per this concern, AI is one of the booming era, but we have a lot of integrated concept will be applicable for this particular AI. So when we are combining this AI along with your IoT or any analysis, IoT, commonly when we are applying this, you can apply any sort of IoT things in your artificial intelligence. But the key concept which is related to your HPC is artificial intelligence. We can apply this artificial intelligence, high performance computing to work in our feature improvement, whatever the improvement which is required in our domain. And second, to the continuation of this artificial intelligence, in what way this companies, having, why we have to specifically choosing this artificial intelligence to improve the performance in the sense, we have some key concepts. Because normally we have so many industries, they are working on it. When we are discussing about these companies or industries, it may be whatever the industry, it may be related to your AI. No, this reducing electricity consumption and improve efficiency by optimizing heating and cooling system. Why? Because this particular concept, reducing electricity power consumption is one of the major constraint in our country. Even wherever we are going, this power consumption is one of the important aspect to reduce this electricity. Even if you are reducing this power consumption, you can gain some, betterment in that results, as well as improving efficiency also will be one of the key concern to applying this AI in all the industry sectors. That's why they are using this AI. AI is also an important for security in HPC systems. Even whatever the work we are doing, security is one of the major constraints. So even if you are applying this cloud or federated learning, nowadays we have lot of learning systems also will be there. Federated learning will be there. So if you are giving, even if it is blockchain security, lot of key, the key domains are there. But when we are applying this AI in a specific application, so you can provide a security with the help of this federated learning. When you are applying this federated learning, you can you can provide a data security in such a way, so whatever the data you are getting, and also you can avoid this malfunctions also in your HPC. So this AI is also important key component when you are applying in an HPC security purpose. That is, security is a major concern, as well as reducing electricity concerns, as well as you can improve the efficiency and optimizing all the information which is applicable to this lab. And the third thing is NLP, natural language processing. We have, when we are applying this NLP is normally we can call it this natural language processing, given this a form of converting this, maybe this is understandable language, it may be any kind of language conversion, speech recognition, whatever the things it may be. So it creates a more accessible and inclusive technology to, this is particularly, this particular technology will be added along with your AI to improvise whatever the efficiencies which is, required for this particular part. And when particularly focusing about this natural language processing, this NLP, normally this NLP, it creates an interface to, this particular converting these languages into excitable form. That's why we are applying this HPC along with your NLP. This AI will be embodied with your artificial intelligence, and also we are applying this different cognitive levels also we are applying in this to integrate all this aspect. And we are having this hybrid approach of this NLP, as well as AI. to combine with your high performance computing. So when you're applying this AI is one of the important application which is suitable for your high performance computing. So this is one of the key trends and features to shaping your high performance computing in a better way. While moving to the next one, that is edge computing. So as per edge computing, normally we have discussed much more about, even everyone knows that cloud computing also will be there, parallel computing, edge computing. So many computings will be there. But why they have specifically chosen this edge computing in the sense? So we have a lot of modern application nowadays, centralized data centers are there, distributed data centers are, even if you are discussing about this cloud will have a different data centers we have. Even that the data centers, if you are applying this any, it may be a centralized data centers or it may be a distributed data center. This particular application, if you are applying in any modern application, if if you are applying this, this computation and storage places, yeah, key roles in this particular cloud computing. And similarly, here this edge computing will add a added value to speed up the process. And as per this first problem, which is, I told you that centralized data center. When you're applying this, it may be a distributed or it may be a centralized data center related to your services, cloud services. We are applying this data, centralized data service. Your processes, if you are applying any application in this process, your process will slow down, as well as this have some lot of some limitations also, storage limitations also will be applied in your centralized data. Why? Because some security reasons also will be there whenever you are accessing any information in this centralized data. You have to proper procedures to be applied for this to get any information from this centralized data. Then if it is distributed, we can get any kind of data, whatever the data you want to access, that will be suitable. But when we are discussing about this centralized data, it will be very difficult to understand, as well as getting information itself, it is very, very difficult. That's why we are providing a solution that as edge computing. And this edge computing, edge computing, normally when you are applying this edge computing concept in your maybe this particular high performance computing, why we can call it as this is edge computing is more powerful, then why we have to go with this edge computing for your high performance. When you're why we are applying this edge computing, so specific applications of edge computing will be this will be suitable for your high performance computing. But this edge computing will be suitable for high performance computer. Why it will be very suitable for this high performance computing in the sense, and more powerful, we can call it as this more powerful. What is more powerful, the sense powerful and valuable. So this edge computing became more powerful in the sense when we are embedding or integrating some sort of things related to your high performance computing. So it will be very powerful. So powerful in the sense, technology wise, it can store and process the data very closer, and rather than in a remote data center also, we can suitable for this technique. Then when this edge computing, normally when we are discussing about this edge computing, yes, edge computing will have a technology as well as different beneficial aspects also will be there. And also you can apply this in different sectors, as well as even if you are applying this particular smart self-driving cars, automated industries, you can apply for different data processing, as well as you can analyze different real-time data, and different things also will be applicable for this edge computing when you are adding this edge computing in your high performance is HPC. So this is one of the important key concept which is suitable for your high performance computing. But what is the main advantage and benefits of your edge computing in the sense? Normally, this we can call it as this latency, reliability, security, cost, scalability, and energy efficiency. These are the particular key aspects we are having, key benefits. Normally, we can call it as this is the key benefit So that benefit will be suitable for this HPC when you are integrating this edge computing in your HPC. So as per this first thing is you can reduce this latency. So latency, you can increase the speed as well as you can reduce the delays, whatever the data you are processing. So you can avoid the delays which is happening